All right, what's going on, guys? Time for another sample breakdown. Today we're going to check out one that sounds more like an 80s sample. So I kind of stepped out of the 70s for a bit to go to kind of an 80s vibe. And I feel like it could work for someone like Lil Baby or, kind of any number of trap artists. You could easily put trap drums on this and have a lot of those guys sound good on it. Let's take a listen and then we'll break it down.
And would you let me stay?
There is one section where I have a little top line melody come in on the Rhodes, and then the whole sample plays again without drums. So this one started with the Rhodes, but I'll go ahead and break down the bass first anyway. That's what I usually do, and we can talk about the root notes of the bass because they are the root notes of the chords for the Rhodes. Here is the bass line. Extremely simple bass line this time around. It's 4 notes, and these 4 notes kind of tell you the direction of the chord progression that the Rhodes and the piano are going to play. Nice, clean, simple bass tone. All right, so now let's get to the Rhodes. This is kind of the main chord progression, and there's kind of a melody in there as well. Here's what the Rhodes is playing. Very simple, but it makes for a nice little catchy kind of melody. So we can kind of break this up into left hand and right hand. So on the left hand, we have the bass following exactly what the bass is doing. And then we just have this little melody playing, this little top line melody. It's not even really a top line melody, it's just more chords. And that's just playing over top of whatever the bass is doing. And then there's just a little walk up at the end, which is made up out of the same notes that are in the chords. It seems and maybe looks a little bit complicated, but if you were to try to play it, you would see it's very easy. So that is the main Rhodes tone, but what I actually did in this project was I have this main clean Rhodes tone. And then I had another Rhodes, which I think I deleted the instrument, but it's playing the exact same thing, but I just added like some chorus and some reverb and delay and stuff like that. I wanted this kind of clean Rhodes to be the main one, and then just to have this one with the effects sit underneath of it to give it just a little bit more. All right, so that's the Rhodes. So the bass and the Rhodes together. And we're just looking at a 4-bar loop there, right? Very simple. The next thing we have is the piano. Here is what the piano is doing. So this can also be kind of broken up into 2 parts. You have this little top line melody, which is basically just the same note over and over until the end. And then we have the chords, and I don't even remember exactly how I got these chords. I'm pretty sure I was just strumming some combination of what the Rhodes was doing. Seems pretty complicated, but again, I was just picking notes that were already being played. And then I just, kind of strummed them instead of playing it right on, a little more interesting. All right, next we will go over the drums, the last instrument that we have here. Drums are very, very simple. They're there to, keep the time in this one and to support the bass line. Again, I'm hitting the kick drum every time the bass hits. And then one other sound that I found was this little sound that I have hitting when the rim hits. And so that was just another layer to be layered on top of that snare for even more reverb sound. You know, you can't even really hear the sound until it's soloed, but it just gives more texture and reverb to that snare. So that is all of the instruments. The last thing we have here are the vocals. And this is another situation where it's actually my vocal. I came up with the vocal line. You can see down here, I have a whole bunch of stuff recorded. This whole track here was a bunch of different stuff that I recorded in, I sang in, and then I found one piece of it that I liked. So this is the vocal line that I came up with.
And would you love me still if I were right here waiting for you?
So simple idea.
Love me still if I were right here waiting for you.
That mix bus really makes a huge difference, and I'll give you an A and B here.
Love me still if I were right here waiting for you. Love me still if I were right here waiting for you.
With the mix bus on, I turn the gain off. So that's gain matched. It's not just that it's louder and sounds better. It really actually sounds better. But that's this whole sample. So again, something pretty simple, but leaves room for an artist. And trap drums on this would make an instant placement, in my opinion. I think it'll get placed. You heard it here first. I hope you guys learned something, and thank you so much for the support.